My name is Martin Mikkos. I'm a growth company CEO from Finland living in Silicon Valley. Back in 2003, I took the company MySQL from the Nordic countries over to Silicon Valley for global expansion.
My company is called Hoodie-Dude, and we are looking for startups for big companies to partner with or acquire.
Miki Kuusi, co-founder and former CEO of Slush and co-founder and CEO of my own company, Volt. What this document is about, I think it's about the mindset of Silicon Valley and San Francisco. The mindset that you're not playing in the local league in a 5 million person or a 10 million person country in Europe, but you're playing in the NHL, where all the best players and mentors and teams play. And that is, of course, the NHL of technology, the best investors, the top technology journalists, the Mark Zuckerbergs and Facebooks.
So my name is Adiba Barney, and I'm CEO of something called Silicon Valley Forum. And Silicon Valley Forum, also known as SV Forum, stands for or functions as a center for knowledge, resources, and information in Silicon Valley, covering everything from tech trends to the startup and investment ecosystem. And we work with the whole world.
Silicon Valley is the greatest place to be for a software company like AppGyver. All of our potential clients, the large ones, the partners, our investors, and eventually our exit market is in Silicon Valley and in the US.
Because we've been searching for startups for big companies, and that's like a different perspective to look at startups than just being a startup. I think the big change, the revolution will become from the boring industries like agriculture, metal industry, traffic, and things like that. So, and this change is happening now.
I think it's an excellent initiative to produce a documentary about startup and growth companies going from Scandinavia to Silicon Valley. And I would like to participate and tell my part of the story, and based on my experience on challenges, problems, how we solved them and how we ultimately reached success.
I remember the first time I visited Silicon Valley, it was in 2009. And there we were sitting in the middle of Stanford University talking with the local top tech graduates there. And I remember thinking that these guys are not really that different from the best people over here. The biggest difference was the mindset. How they thought that making something, building a company that could take over the world was possible.
So my name is Fadi Bishara, and my company is called Blackbox. Basically, Blackbox is based in Silicon Valley in Palo Alto, and we focus on helping entrepreneurs from all around the world to learn about Silicon Valley, interface with this valley, and get access to resources. We're more like the translator, the APIs of Silicon Valley, what they put on a t-shirt.
And the first things I learned about Silicon Valley was just the sheer level of execution, the 15-minute meetings and how fast you could get things forward and how everything was a bit network of people and you had to know someone to get something done. And I think that mindset and that working culture is one of the most interesting things that people can bring home from Silicon Valley. And only second comes, taking your business forward. And, talking about whether Silicon Valley is the right place for your business to be in, that is a more industry-specific question. Many gaming companies like Supercell have an office in Silicon Valley. Spotify has an office in Silicon Valley. So if you're doing anything in consumer technology, you probably have to have some presence in Silicon Valley. Or it's at least good to know what the local players and competitors and investors are thinking there.
I think for Nordics, Silicon Valley is a great place to be because it helps us to get a little bit more open about our communication and learn some of the ways to maybe present your message and do the marketing more efficiently the American way.
Get out there and meet with people and make sure that you add people to your network. Being in an office and not meeting anyone is not gonna do any good for you. You will have to start working on your network, working on your community, working on your brand, and not just the brand of your company, but the brand of you as an entrepreneur, because you will be the brand for your company.
What we focus on is really accelerating the growth of the founders, not the business. We don't talk too much the details about, we didn't tell them how to figure out the return on the investments for the customers. That's not the stuff that we get into. But we get into them believing in themselves that they can make this global. When you've shown traction, when you've shown that you've solved this problem, there are people paying for it. This problem does exist here. You can do it here, and the people who've done something big, they're not much different than you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mikko Armela, and I'm the founder of the M2 Talent, the company who is producing Matcher, your personal career assistant and a headhunter in your pocket. So you're asking the image, how Silicon Valley image has been changed when I came here. It has totally changed. I think this has been a very excellent 2 weeks to really touch and paste what Silicon Valley is all about. And actually, what happens right now, it has changed already, and it's changing all the time. And we have had opportunity to really listen to those guys which are telling not only how Silicon Valley has been, but what it will be from now on.
Zero Keyboard is an add-on on top of existing CRM software. With Zero Keyboard, you can enter data to CRM system without typing, using pictures, voice, and touch gestures.
I think Ante did a good job.
Yeah, I've never done that before, at least in this kind of audience with Silicon Valley investors and so on.
If you compare the business in Silicon Valley to Europe or whatsoever, I would say that the biggest like feeling what I got is that in here things are done quite informal way, but they really go deep into you. In Europe they kind of see like a small approach, so like let's say the surface of your company, and here they try to dig in deeper to your company.